podcast.
All right, what's up, Fight Bros podcast listeners? Coming at you today with Fight Bros podcast number 58. Got a good one for you today. We're doing another series with Titans of the Cage. We're tackling their Titans of the Cage number 35 coming up on April 13th, and that's going to be at the Wytheville Meeting Center. I've got a great guest on for you today. This gentleman's been on with me before. He's going to be competing in a Legends bout for Titans in the Cage 35. I've got Micah, the original Sheffey. Thanks for coming on, Micah.
Hey, no problem. How's it going?
Pretty good. You doing okay today?
Yeah, man. Been a good day.
Good. So, man, since the last time I talked to you, feels like some stuff has changed in your MMA journey. I think since the last time we talked, you made your pro debut. I believe you did that at Aries Fight Series along your teammate Robbie Ring. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience and just how turning pro has felt for you?
Yeah, I mean that was a really fun experience, I guess. I didn't think it would be that much different, but it really was. Being down there, I think we fought down in Nashville, and it was a packed house down there. It was a lot of fun, and getting to see all the other the pro fighters come in. Luis Pena, I think he's been on the UFC, and then getting to see Robbie's show out down there. He had a good crowd out and everything. But it was different. Let me tell you too, I got hit a lot harder than I'd ever been hit before too. So that was the not so fun part about it. But it was all right though.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about, like, compared to what you've been used to in your amateur career. Was the weigh-ins different? The face-offs, just the atmosphere of that, and then coming to fight night, like that atmosphere, was that different than what you've been used to?
Not really. I mean, I think that all the experience that I've had through the different promotions and different fights that I've had, I was pretty prepared for all of that. That was all standard. We went down to Goji Gym, weighed in there. They did they did do a little bit different. They did a tell of the tape. I had to stand in front of a green screen where they took a picture of us, and they had to tell the tape up for the live event. And I've watched their events. So I will tell you now that the whole production of everything, now that was a lot different.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I know I've talked with the promoter of Titans of the Cage before, and like she said, the event they put on sometimes is the atmosphere is about of some professional ones. So I figured kind of your answer would be like it was, and that you were prepared and felt good come fight night. Now tell me this. So from turning amateur into turning pro, tell us how that works. Do you just build up your fights in the amateur, and then a professional promoter gives you that call and offers you a fight deal, or walk us through how that goes?
Yeah, so I think that going and getting the amateur experience under your belt, training regularly, and being training with a place that's reputable. All those things are things that promoters are looking for, and I feel like I've got a pretty good following when I go somewhere. You was talking about like the experience of everything. Like that's one of the really, really cool things about doing this as long as I have. I've had a lot of people come out and watch me fight, and so it seems like it's usually pretty hype when I get in the cage, and walking out, and then when they introduce me, everything, and then while I'm competing, there's a lot of cheering going on and whatnot, and I think that's a lot that fuels me a lot, and that makes it more fun being out there. I guess that's kind of like the fun aspect of it too, is putting on the show.
Hey, I love it,
But
man.
yeah, as far as like the getting contacted or whatnot, that was my instructor. He's got a good relationship with Tim Loy and Jeff Hobbs out there at Aries, and those guys. They Tim Loy, he reached out to me, and we talked about what it was going to take and everything, and traveling down there and then staying like, because it was a 4 hour drive to get there. And then, they were really good about making sure you got a place to stay, that you're there before you have to be. And, that was neat. That was good I liked how they handled all that and everything. It is a little bit more strenuous with what it takes for the physical part, and you got to get your eye work, got to get blood work done, got to get eye work done, got to go to the doctor and get a physical. Where I'm over 35 in the state of Tennessee, you have to have like a neurological exam also.
Okay.
So didn't know about that. So we got to look into that. In other states, once you're over 35 or some are like 40, they start requiring a little bit more for you to be able to compete.
Okay.
And get licensed as a professional.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So yeah, that's interesting. So, as far as Titans of the Cage, you seem to be an OG to Titans of the Cage. Have you been there since day one, since their first event?
Yeah, I was the very first fight on the very first show.
Hey, yeah.
So, I was around when it was just kind of a dream in the gym. So, and it just, and it worked out. And it was just kind of worked out that they were able to match me up with somebody, because I really haven't been training that long either. So that was, I've been around for a while. I think I've missed one or two of them, and that was because I'd started a new job and couldn't miss. So.
Well, that's sweet, man, that you've been there since day one. So since you're one of the OGs, definitely to that promotion and ring combat sports, what is your goal at this point in the game? Is it you just out there, doing what you love, or are you trying to get back in the professional, bouts again?
It's both. I love training, and life's just kind of been up and down, and finally got to a stable point where I've been able to train regularly. I've been training at least 3 days a week, sometimes four. When I get in the gym and do other things, I do that and run, bicycle, do all those kind of things, and it's all really towards the goal of getting myself to the point where I can be competitive, and not just taking a fight, going through a camp, going out performing, and then missing some time. And because it's not like I've missed time, but stay when in the early stages, in the beginning of Titans of the Cage and whatnot, I lived in a fight camp and stayed in them all the time, and that's been a little harder to achieve as I've gotten older, my kids getting older, career changes and whatnot. That's been harder to maintain, but I'm finally back. But I've always been training. That's the thing. I've always been kept at it. So now feel like I'm at a really good point that I can be in the gym training regularly 3-4 days a week. And I want to, it's one of the reasons I took this. I want this fight with Josh, kind of give me a platform to go out and see where I'm at mentally and physically, challenge myself, being on a stand-up fight. So, all of this is part of the bigger plan, so that, ultimately, so that I can be competitive. I can get back out here and win some fights again, and show what I can do.
I like it, man. You shared a little bit about what you're doing for strength and conditioning. I seen online that you're. It seems like you're about to be. Are you signed up for a triathlon? So are you kind of incorporating that into your training right now, and kind
Yeah.
of getting your cardio right for that big event?
Oh, for sure. I've done the triathlon the last 2 years, and that's a lot of fun. It's you bike 40 miles and you kayak 12 miles and then you run 13. And so I've done it the last 2 years. And each year I've last year my time was significantly better than the year before, and this year I'm really looking forward to being able to push myself a lot harder and try to make myself be competitive in my age group in that as well. I think they said there's like 300 people signed up for it. So
Wow. Hey, yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm sure that definitely the training for that translates over, to your fighting and mentally just being able to do that. I'm sure that helps too. Get you out of some tough spots in fights. Just being able to know you can push your body to that limit.
yeah, for sure. That's even when I'm out there, like I'll tell you at the end, that 13-mile run after you biked 40 and kayak 12, a 13-mile run ain't no joke. And so, there's a lot of it. I think it's a lot just as mental as it is physical. So, being able to push my body and know what I'm capable, knowing what I'm capable of and what I can get through. And that's all that has 100% translates to the fight training.
I like it. Um, so let's get down to the big topic here. So Titans of the Cage 35, April 13th. You're fighting in a Legends kickboxing bout against another OG to Titans of the Cage, Josh Cook. Now, what made you want to take this fight in a kickboxing bout?
Well, I've only pulled out of one fight in the 12, 13 years I've been doing this, and that was against Josh because I had an injury that I couldn't defeat. And so Josh ended up taking a fight that night, and it didn't go good for him. And I know he's kind of been in and out of it. So it was brought up at the last Titans of the Cage, or it was brought up about me and him doing since they started this at the last event. For me and him to do it. And Josh is a stand-up guy. Everybody knows he's what his taekwondo that he does and whatnot. And everybody knows I'm a ground fighter. So really, it's just it's an opportunity to test myself against someone else that has a different skill set to me, and be able to go out and there was a lot of my fights, pretty much all my fights, I've end up on the ground somehow or another. And so I'm really looking forward to going out and not having that factor be there, not for me to take him down or for him to be able to take me down, or be pushed up against the cage and working off of that, but to have to actually stand out there and trade punches and kicks and engage in that. So I think it's I'm up for the challenge. I know I feel like it's a challenge, and I feel like I'm up for it. So I'm really looking forward to it too.
Hey, now I had another question for you. So, you and him fought back in 2019, and that was a MMA rules bout that had you winning by unanimous decision. Do you feel like there's some things from that fight that might transfer over, or are you just looking at that fight being in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I got an idea of how Josh moves on his feet and what he likes to do. So I definitely think that's going to transfer over, because I had to take that away from him for me to be able to score points on him. I had to get him on the ground. So, he definitely give me an idea. That has been 4 years ago. I didn't realize it'd been that long, but for sure, yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's going to benefit me quite a bit, because, and I think it's going to be a little more tricky for Josh though, because I was really been a heavy ground fighter in the past, but I've worked extremely hard on sharpening up my stand-up skills and working different things. So, it's an opportunity for me to I feel like it's an opportunity for me to get to showcase that.
Hey, I like it, man. I can't wait for that bout against with y'all two squaring off. Now, I got a kind of a fun question for you here. So, I've seen some talk online between you two, and you just said he's a stand-up guy. Now, is this just friendly fire between y'all, or tell me a little bit about that?
Well, in a sense, it is, but I can tell you that when that cage door closes, it ain't friendly. It's both man for himself. So, I like Josh. Josh, like I said, has been around a while, but Josh is like myself. He's a martial artist. He's a mixed martial artist, and we're both of us. We want to win. So we want to, at the end of the day, it's about getting your hand raised. So that's what it's about at the end of the day.
Hey, I like it. I think you put that very well. I've watched both of y'all fight before, and both of y'all come fight night are going to be ready to put it on the line. So this last little bit, just got some fun questions for you here. Kind of still fighting related and some not, but tell me a little bit about, before fight night, what's your pre-fight routine? What's a meal look like for you? Maybe, mitt work or anything you're doing to get yourself prepared to make that walk?
Well, fight night the night before, I usually get weighed in. Most of the time I've had to do a water cut, so I'm getting rehydrated and just trying to get in some, eat small portions of food at a time because usually I had to cut some weight and get some off of me. So just getting rehydrated, trying to eat smaller portions at a time. Try to eat like some protein and carbohydrates. Nothing new, nothing crazy. Which I eat pretty bland stuff anyways. Eat a lot of chicken, steak, potatoes. Try to keep it pretty basic on that. So try to nothing really different there. But I've never really done any mitt work or done any work. It's like the work usually by Wednesday, Thursday, it's like the work's done. I don't really feel like I'm going to be getting any better in the next 2 or 3 days. So it's more about just trying to stay active, stay loose. Again, maybe work up a little sweat, doing a little something, but no, that's about it really. Maybe watch some movies. Like I always like to watch Gladiator, some kind of movie like that the night before I fight.
Hey, I like it, man. I'm a Rocky guy. I like watching Rocky before I do stuff. So yeah. I got two more kind of fun questions for you. So this was kind of a big announcement just in the fight world, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Mike Tyson is going to be fighting Jake Paul in a boxing match. What's your thoughts on this? Is Mike Tyson finally going to be the one to, kind of put Jake Paul to the end, or?
I think Mike wants to, and so we'll see. I think you got a lot of people rooting for Mike. Jake Paul, he kind of likes the people, the haters out there and everything. So there's all the talk about Jake Paul trying to go after the people that are smaller than him and older than him. So, but really, I'd like to see Mike put him down. I think that would be a lot of fun to see Mike be the one to go out. And, everybody wants to watch Mike Tyson fight anyway. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Regardless of his performance, people's going to be watching. Even though I think he's in good shape, I think he's ready. All right, last question, man. This is a Fight Bros podcast. You can see behind me in the logo. We talk about fights. We talk about kind of these mysterious creatures, Bigfoot, Mothman, aliens. What's kind of your mysterious creature you think's real, man?
Oh man, I don't
Loch
know.
Ness.
Hey, if it's anything, it's going to be Bigfoot. That he's the ultimate evader, and however he needs to teach me his ways. He's just I want to live out in the woods where nobody can find me like he is. So,
Hey, I like it, man. He's my favorite too. So last thing here, Mike, I want to give you the floor. Shout out. Anybody like teammates, anybody. Floor's yours.
hey, yeah, for sure. You know, ring combat sports is the place to be. And Sensei Greg Ring, Sensei Kim Ring, Sensei Brian Pisani, they're great instructors. And you got Sensei Sean Height, who's there teaching Gi Jiu-Jitsu. Tyler Cardwell, Sensei Tyler Cardwell, he's been around a long time. He's still teaching out there. There's a lot of people that have been around the game for a long time, have a lot to offer out there, and I really, I really truly appreciate the what they've done for me and just how good they've always been to me and always treated me the same no matter what, and always had my back and been encouraging me and a huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to my training partners. There's way too many to list, but go ahead and put Robbie Ring on the platforms. Robbie's got the big fight coming up out here at Aries. Robbie's been around for as long as I have, and the kid is just relentless. It's there's no wonder that he's got the following that he does, and people just really respect the work that he puts in. And I don't even know if any people really realize the work that he puts in, but I definitely do, because I've been around it since the very beginning of, and not since his very beginning. He was there before me, but watching him mature and become to love the fight game and everything. And so that's been really cool to see. And but yeah, everybody at Ring Combat Sports, all the effort, all the work that everybody's putting in out there is just really awesome. I appreciate everybody that shows up and gives it their all. So,
Hey, very well said, man. Hey, Fight Bros podcast listeners, get your tickets, www.tocfights.com. You're going to want to catch that Legends bout between Micah and Josh, two OGs to Titans of the Cage. That's going to be April 13th at the Wytheville Meeting Center. Follow Micah on his socials. I'll have those listed in the podcast here. And yeah, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on again, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you again, and best of luck on your fight on April 13th.
Hey, thanks, Marcus. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, thank you. I'll end our recording here, and then we'll end out. Thanks for listening to the Fight Bros podcast. If you like what you heard today, like us on Facebook,